Hey everybody out there in the land of YouTube. It's an Epstein Psychic News Network pop-up. Today I find myself in the city of Salem, Massachusetts. I had to come here to drop something off, so then I decided I would just stay for a while. I'm in the harbor. I'm getting up close to the camera because it's a bit windy. And I hope you can hear me okay. Behind me is the Salem Customs House. Custom House. Salem was a huge trade port. A lot of merchant marines here, a lot of trade ships came from like the islands and up the coast right to here. So a lot of Salem's wealth came from the merchants. So that's why we have a custom house in the background. I think it's probably from the mid 1800s, if not before. So, Church of Spirituality, if you haven't seen it yet, it's posted 1 o'clock on Sundays every single week, 1 p.m. Eastern. We're on our 5th year. And really important and powerful messages, especially for these times that we're in. We have a pretty good foundation, a pretty good spiritual base foundation established at Church of Spirituality. So my prayer every week is that it grows a lot bigger. I have got some cards to look at. So, once in a while, Kathy Beal asks me to ask things at PNN. So one of Kathy's questions, you know, our resident psychic, we all know Kathy, was today she said that she heard that Laura Loomer was posting. Let me just take a side note and say I'm so tired of this posting. I'm so tired of this way of governing the country. Do you remember Obama? They had to take his BlackBerry away. Remember that? And ever since Dumpy, it's been, if you want to know what's going on in the government, there's a tweet, there's a this, there's a that. It's like, I'm just so done. I know I'm not alone in that. I'm just moving around a lot because I want to make sure it's not too windy. Alright, there's some cracks in the dock here, so I gotta really hold on to these cards. Okay, so what Kathy was asking is if Dumpy is considering releasing Pam Blondie from her duties and putting trigger warning Ken Paxton in her place. I mean, we didn't even know that people that were this heinous were out there, and they are out there in many ways. I'm grabbing my pendulum. My initial sense was no, because I mean, I'll look into it a little bit more, was no. I don't think that it would be very popular with anyone, except maybe Ken Paxton, who should be rotten in prison right now like the rest of them should be. Is Ken Paxton being considered? So I have a yes on that he's being considered for the position. Okay. Which presumes that Blondie will be fired or resign. Will Paxton be appointed? No. I don't pick up. He is being considered by Dumpy to be taking Pam Blondie's place. We call her Blondie for a reason. If they're not blonde, they're Botoxed to the max, and usually it's both. I'm going to actually pull 3 cards about that, about Pam Blondie and whether she's going to be let go. 3 cards from the nefarious deck. Really gorgeous day for a sail. I need to find a boat. She has been, she's now being viewed as a fool. She lies and lies and lies and doesn't lie well. So she's being perceived as a fool. And this looks like her messaging has been foolish. And the World card, interesting. So I'm asking about Blondie, what's going on for her. And I really consistently see on the world stage, other world leaders are watching what's going on here. And I feel like whether energetically or practically, from a practical standpoint, they're going to have something to say. Now remember, they had was it Tulsi Gabbard? The FBI has a file on Tulsi Gabbard. We haven't heard that name for a while. But let's ask, do they also have a file on Blondie? Likely. It's very likely. Alright, I do this thing when I'm outside. I put my pendulum down and then it disappears. So, let's ask. Sorry about that. Let's ask about Ken Paxton. He really should be rotting in jail. Even the Republicans in Texas, they impeached him, and now his wife is divorcing him. Oh, here it is. It's on my lap. Is Blondie being, is she resigned? Yeah, she's going. She's on her way out. In no uncertain terms, she's on her way out. Okay, let's pull 3 cards on Ken Paxton. Just, his wife is divorcing him, which is surprising. What's most surprising is she's saying she's doing it on religious grounds. I believe he's cheated on her. Let me ask the pendulum. Seems like I heard that somewhere. Does Paxton cheat on his wife? Yes. That looks like the reason why. So let's look at his fate. I know we hate to see these historical criminals. They're historically the worst criminals in history, and formerly respected periods of leadership. Oh, there's a big schooner going out. See if I can show you this, because it's kind of close. And I'll just turn around this way. I'm still here. It's hard for me to see if you can see. Anyway. I almost jumped on that boat at the last minute. Anyway, if you couldn't see it, it's a boat that's from, I think, the 1800s, going out for a sunset sail, kind of early. Anyway, sorry I'm being so slow. We're just hanging out. We're just hanging out. I'm reading on Paxton. Okay. We'll be, yeah. This isn't the Paxton. No, he's left out in the cold there. There's the Hermit. The Chariot. Yeah, I think that quickly they'll decide. Nah, wouldn't be helpful for their criminal enterprise of squatting in our government. And the King of Wands. Vlad wants it. Vlad wants that, but I don't think that. I don't see it happening. So, it is what it is. Let's read on Dumpy himself. It's It's like the least unusual thing you'll see in Salem is somebody sitting down with tarot cards. I can see beyond the pier here, I can see there's a store called the Witchery and one called Cauldron Black. I think I'm gonna go in there. Sunday, it's a little bit quiet here. Beautiful beach day. 3 cards about Dumpy, where he's at right now. Oh, he's just blah, 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 blah. He's just blah, 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 blah. Just talking up a storm, or tweeting up a storm, or truthing up a storm. By the way, don't you hate that picture of him on Truth Social with his face, with the makeup that looks like the American flag? Can I just take a moment to complain about that? It looks like something out of Batman. It looks like the Joker, for God's sake. Anyway, 5 of Wands. He's finding things very challenging. I keep on picking up a lot of problems with money, and I do believe that that's the tariffs. So it's a double whammy because the tariffs aren't working out for him. There's nothing good about them. He's trying to put a tariff on Brazil for holding Bolsonaro accountable for orchestrating a coup. Man, these people, they gotta go. All right, let's ask this. Because what I feel like is what Dumpy's going through right now, which is so challenging for him, is the tariffs aren't working out, and it's obvious. And the Epstein files are not being covered up the way that he wants them to be, because he wants them swept completely under the rug. That's not working out. So now he's picking on Rosie O'Donnell and saying, now Rosie O'Donnell moved to Ireland. O'Donnell, obviously she's Irish, and if you have Irish lineage, you can be a citizen. So she has her citizenship there, and she moved. I don't think she gives a rat's ass about not being an American citizen, and it's against the Constitution for him to do such things anyway. Constitution? What Constitution? Let me ask about, is he trying to cover everything up? Yes, he's trying to cover everything up. So let's ask this. Will Dumpy succeed in having the Epstein files completely covered up? No. No, N-O, no. Will this affect his position? Will it affect his position? Okay, well, let me ask this because it was an unclear answer. Will it affect his standing? Will it take him down, basically? That's a yes. This Epstein file, I get a yes on that. And so what I'm picking up is the MAGAs are so upset. And all he really has is MAGA support and Pootie support. So now let's read on Pootie. You know, the Dumpy and Pootie show. Let's do that. Then I'm gonna go find some supper. I hope you're having a good Sunday. It really is beautiful out. Okay. I'm actually going to read on Epstein. Read on Epstein. And what goes on around that. Because it looks like it's going to come out. And I've been seeing for months now, and you know, if you've been watching me for months now, I see whistleblower, whistleblower, whistleblower. It's really hard to cover this stuff up. The Epstein files. There's the Ace of Swords again. King of Swords. 10 of Wands. This speaks to somebody who's powerful, and the question marks are coming up in my head because I'm wondering who this really powerful male is, who's a Democrat, who's pushing back against Dumpy around the Epstein files. And the 10 of Wands, it gets very, very, very burdensome for Dumpy. All right, so let's read on, I was going to read on the Dumpy Pootie connection. Let's do that next. But first, I want to ask, like, somebody, because last night I was stumped. When I did my video last night, I was stumped about, I see somebody really eyeing the position of POTUS, and it's currently it doesn't feel like a female. I'm picking up on a couple of things. One is there's somebody who's coveting that position who's very nefarious and, you know, a MAGA. And the other, I think the other is Gavin Newsom. I'm not saying Kamala is not going to be president. What I am saying is in the current moment we're in, I feel people vying for that position, wanting that position, and they're men. And it's because, like, they're going to get real vocal about the Epstein files and about these tariffs and about, like, all of it. Jamie Raskin comes to mind too. And they want to be in that, they want Dumpy and this fascist regime out so that they can step, like, placeholders. I'm going to ask who I'm picking up on. Is it Gavin Newsom? I feel like it's Gavin Newsom, the Democrat who wants to get in there. And it's just like to put a wedge in the works to stop the bleeding, literally. And on the MAGA side, am I picking up on Stephen Miller? It's not. That's not who I'm picking up on that's doing this right now. Is there somebody in MAGA that is really vying for that? Yeah, and I picked up that it wasn't J.D. Vance. So I'm going to continue to read on that and see what we come up with. Not right now in the moment, because it's pretty fuzzy at the moment. Okay, so for a happy topic, we have to have happy topics. How's our democracy doing? I do feel a lot more people on board with overthrowing this regime. So let's take a look. I encourage you to only watch things that are hopeful. Only consume that which is hopeful. So we're reading on our democracy. Queen of Cups. It's just a matter of time before Dumpy is gone. It's just a matter of time, and it's not a full term. See, I have the Queen of Cups. This is a lot of women, a lot of female judges. This indicates Kamala energy, overthrowing the emperor in a certain amount of time. So let's just see if we can get a ballpark amount of time. And the words crimes against humanity are popping in. So there's something about what he's doing with ICE and these roundups. Will Dumpy be removed? Yes. Can you give us a month? Okay, there's a bit of wind, gust of wind, so let's wait. This pendulum is pretty heavy, but still, that's a pretty big gust. Feels good. Here we go. Will Dumpy be removed this month? Will it be next month? Will it be September? Okay, I'm going to ask, is he actually going to be removed? Yes, he'll be removed. Will it be due to people taking action? Will it be due to that? Okay, it looks like it's going to be due to his health. Will it be due to his health? Yes. Okay, he's going to be removed. Blaming it, yeah, really, really strong health. Will he be alive the whole time that he's in office? Okay. I'm just going to tell it like I sees it. And, will this whole regime go with him? I have a yes. The whole regime will go with him. I feel like by that time, there's going to be so many crimes out in the open, undeniable, that we just decide as a country we cannot do this. All right, there's so much more to ask, but I don't want to make this too terribly long. I will see you tomorrow for Off the Ledge, and also for another pop-up. And tomorrow night is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We have our live stream, Psychic News Network. And what else do I need to tell you? Please watch Church of Spirituality. Going through some financial hardships at the present moment. I've been hacked, and that plus all the problems YouTube is giving me. I don't give up the ship, but I am going to change my approach to what I do. So stay tuned. I'll keep you posted every step of the way. All right, another nice gust of wind. See you soon. Be well. Please hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe and leave a kind comment. I heard that helps. All right. Love you lots. Namaste.